Hello, everybody. It's Tim here again, here with the next Friday the 13th commentary. We're up to Jason Takes Manhattan, baby. So, without further ado, I set my timestamp to 0, and we're counting down in 3, 2, 1, pressing play now. I like this opening with the Paramount logo because it's got the Jason theme playing over it going, that's pretty cool. That's actually a good part for the opening. And yes, I will go ahead and say it, this is the weakest Jason film in my opinion. Just to backtrack on all the films, which I've watched a few more times since some of these commentaries, I will say, Part 1 I still think is a good movie. I think it's a good slasher flick. I do not think it's any kind of masterpiece, though. Part 2 I think is a great sequel, and I actually prefer it to the first one. The Jason factor alone makes it cooler. Part 3 I thought was okay when I did the commentary for it. Rewatching it, it's alright. It's an alright time waster. Part 4 is a great flick. It's easily the best of the first 4 films. Part 5, like I said before, is also just an okay film. It's a time waster. It's one of the weakest. Part 6 is an awesome film. It's the best of the franchise in my opinion. And Part 7 is actually pretty good. I've actually learned to enjoy Part 7. It's grown on me. I'm gonna give Part 7 a 3.5 out of 4. It's a pretty good movie. Part 6, of course, is a 4 out of 4. And now we're at Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. And this is definitely when the franchise is on the wane. And they were competing with the Freddy movies at this point, and the Freddy movies are pretty much dominating because Freddy has all the personality and everything. So what do you do with the property? You put it in a new location. Let's see if it works. You got the opening city montage here going on. We got Kane Hodder back as Jason, which is cool. At this point, everything seems to be going smoothly. I mean, putting Jason in like a dark, dingy New York City and all that is a cool idea. The question is, how the hell do you get him there? We shall see what their master plan is. Of course, all these locations that is showing at the beginning in New York or whatever are all the locations that Jason shall visit by the end of the movie. Of course, the biggest problem with this movie is that just too much of the damn film takes place on the boat. There's not enough in New York. In which, I know some people will say, well, budget, it costs a lot to shoot in Manhattan. You could have used other locations and other cities and stuff to double it for New York. They do that in this movie already, but you could have done that for a lot of the most fun sequences. You don't need Jason, like, climbing up the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty or whatever in order to make an entertaining Jason Takes Manhattan movie. He doesn't need to go to, like, every major location in order for this movie to work. They did a great, like, Killer in New York movie just with the Maniac Cop film, and some of that wasn't even shot in New York. And you had excellent scenes where he took out a whole police station. That's what you need to do with this film. You need to have a scene where Jason like rampaged and killed a bunch of people in the police station, like Maniac Cop 2, or like just took a bunch of people out in a Broadway play. See, all these things you could have done here, or even killed a bunch of people in a nightclub. All these things would have been simple and easy to do, and wouldn't have been that expensive. And that's all you would have really needed for this film. You just need Jason killing people in New York, like massacring people left and right in New York in big bloodbath. You don't need him like climbing up the Statue of Liberty or whatever like the director wanted to do but couldn't afford. You can do so much other stuff with this. Like just having Jason on a bridge killing people and not the Golden Gate Bridge would still be pretty cool. You don't really need Jason like visiting all the New York landmarks in order for it to be a successful Jason Takes Manhattan movie. Just seeing Jason in a city setting would have been cool enough for most people, in my opinion. Like seeing him rampage to an office building, taking out workers and shit, that would have been a lot of fun. I do like the fact that they put Jason in the New York sewers by the end, though. That is cool. Because, of course, thanks to Ninja Turtles, that's a famous place. And the urban myth of alligators in the sewers. Alright, we're back to Crystal Lake here. Starting off with two teenagers screwing. Oh, shit. Oh, Lord, it's been so many years, and these people still don't learn that Jason just does not like teenage sex. This movie came out in 1989. This was definitely when the slasher genre was like on its wane and its way out. Dream Child still made more money than this, and Halloween, I believe it was Halloween 5. It still did better than that, so Freddy was still the most popular of the three at the time. Got a nice booty shot. Oh, he's going to drop the anchor. Could there be an electric cable hidden underneath the lake? Time will tell. Here's where we get our backstory for anybody that's coming into movie 8 that hasn't seen the first 7, or any of the first 7. Because they constantly retell Jason's backstory in every single movie. At this point, though, it's like, shit, I mean, don't you know it? I hate the fact that the director had Jason look like just a normal child in these flashbacks. I'm pretty sure he misunderstood like the continuity of the films. See, Jason was always deformed. He died deformed in the lake. And the director was under the impression that Jason was like a normal looking kid who drowned and then became deformed when he rotted away under the water. And that's why when kid Jason shows up in the movie, he has different stages of decomposition. That's what he was going for. But that's not what the movies, all the way back to the original flick and every other movie, like told you. That's not what they were. That's not the continuity. So he didn't pay attention to continuity. So right off the bat, that's a fuck you / mark against this movie. The idea that Jason gets woke up by an underwater electric cable is also kind of lazy. He just feels like, well, this is how he comes back, whatever. And he just happened to be next to a power line. And Crystal Lake looks up and running here. Instead of going directly back to the camp, Jason like goes off on the lake, which is kind of weird that he wouldn't just go directly back to the camp. It doesn't really make sense, but hey, what the hell? You needed to get him to New York. And this whole cruise ship idea, I don't really think you ever needed to do that. I mean, you could have just had like some people run off on a bus or anything like that. You just had Jason like literally hanging onto the bottom of the bus like Cape Fear or something and just ride all the way to New York as he was like following the kids from the camp or whatever. You could have just done that. You didn't really need like this whole cruise ship thing or whatever. But in a way, though, it does kind of spice it up by doing like a haunted ship type story instead of Jason just killing people at the camp again. I think that this is also the longest. I think this is the longest Friday the 13th. I mean, you can see why. It's because they have to build up so much until they get to New York. Is it Jason or is it a jump scare? Oh, jump scare. I like it at this point. Jason's become like nationwide news, though. You know, he's killed so many people, and the urban legend has grown so big. He's like so well known that everybody just like plays pranks with the damn mask. Well, thanks for giving Jason a new mask. Of course, it has the same axe mark on it as the one from Part 3, but we'll just have to believe the designer was going for authenticity. And a spear gun for old J-Man. Jason's look in this is extremely swampy. He looks more like just like a pure lake creature. This felt like what the director was going for. Like a real theme of like Jason haunting the lake area and all that. Jason looks okay in this as like a Swamp Thing type Jason. I'm glad it's Kane Hodder back. But at the same time, Part 7 was the definitive look for the character. You didn't really need to change it. But I get each director and makeup effects artist, though, wanting to do their own thing with Jason. terms of his look. It does kind of seem like Jason pulls the dude's guts out or whatever on the spear gun, but it's actually just the tubing attached to it. Oh snap, the J-Man's looking for her. Where's she hiding that J-Man? Oh shit, it's the J-Man. He's about to nail you, baby. Oh, spear to the chest. I like how Jason just spears in her chest and then just closes the door. He's like, yeah, shit happens. Ah, the giving of the supposed Stephen King pen. Stephen King didn't use that shit. Oh, we got the new Crazy Ralph here as the deckhand. You're doomed! We got another older asshole authority figure, which kind of feels like a repeat of Dr. Cruz. This guy does a good job playing an asshole, too. Here as Rennie's Uncle Charles. Of course, Rennie being the main character here, played by Jensen Daggett, I believe. So we got Sean Robertson here, who's the love interest for Rennie in the movie. He's okay. I don't think this actor is bad. But once again, the token boyfriend character or whatever that's been going on here, the last few movies, they're just kind of there. And the other dude here, or whatever, whose name I forgot, Gordon Curry, I think is his name, who plays the dude standing here with the Sean character, he was the star of the show in Puppet Master 4 and 5, which I actually enjoy those two movies in terms of the Puppet Master series. And most of the Puppet Masters are pretty bad, to be honest. But the first 5 I can kind of deal with for what they are. Send out the International Maritime Signal, Sean. Sean, you suck ass at trying to captain this ship. Be like your dad. Sean said, screw you, father, I'm out. Goodbye, Dad. Oh, the J-Man, he's stowing aboard the ship called the Lazarus, which is hilarious. I kind of like the idea of Jason, like, taking a cruise ship. It probably would have been more appropriate if this movie would have just been called Friday the 13th Part 8. Instead of, like, Jason Takes Manhattan. That way there wouldn't be any expectations of, like, New York and all that. New York could just be a surprise thing at the end or whatever. Instead of something people went in expecting most of the film to be about. Because that's what was advertised. Which people were understandably pissed. Oh, it's got a disco room in the ship. Oh, I forgot she has Toby the dog with her here as well. Oh, he got her a Statue of Liberty pendant. How sweet, Sean. That'll get you to second base, brother. Oh, here comes Uncle Charlie. Uncle Charlie's the ultimate cock blocker. He just totally ruins the mood. Uh oh, now we're being introduced to the video recorder dude or whatever. And the rock and roll JJ chick. I believe JJ the rocker chick is played by Saffron Burrows, who went on to do like some voices for Dragon Ball characters in the Ocean dub of the series. Pretty sure she's done some other anime voiceovers too. Of course, Wayne, the video geek, is working for the resident bitch on the ship called Tamra, who actually her son grew up to play in the Race to Witch Mountain reboot with The Rock. I think he's been in some other stuff too. Of course, Saffron Burrows gets a good head bashing in by the guitar, which is a cool idea for a kill. We discover Rennie has like a fear of water, which will be revealed, of course, later in the movie. This flick also has like a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street inspired hallucination, dream type sequences, which are clearly put in here only specifically to rip off a Nightmare on Elm Street because it was the biggest hit at the time in terms of horror franchises. Oh shit, here comes Jason, sneaking down the stairs behind her. Watch out for the J-Man. She's rocking out too hard, she can't hear him. Oh shit, she spotted him. The JJ chick's pretty hot as a rocker chick, that's just my type really. Seeing her naked would have been pretty good. Boom! Here comes the Jason, knocking the shit out of you with a guitar. Toby the dog said, let's go explore. Jason's mask in this one has like a very yellowish tint to it, which I'm not sure I like, but it is there. I think we're about to get our first of many hallucinations coming up here. Here comes the Nightmare on Elm Street rip-off dream type sequence. The first of many. This would have made more sense if they would have just had the psychic chick back from part 7. Which I think they did want her back originally for this. She was offered it, but she didn't get to read the script. Or they had no script at the time, so she didn't do it. Kind of wish she did, because this movie would have made more sense with her in here. Of course, once again, Jason having hair and looking normal is like, what the fuck? The director once again paid no attention to continuity. We're getting introduced to Julius here. I'm going to call him Orange Julius. Whooping somebody's ass in boxing. And Tamra, the bitch of the group, which is a direct copy of the Melissa character from the last one. Then we got Kelly Hu here, which she went on to be a pretty big actor to be in some pretty big projects for a while, and then she just kind of faded away. But she was in Scorpion King, what else? X-Men 2. Yeah, she was an up-and-comer at the time for a while, getting into some big projects. But then she just kind of vanished off the radar. I don't think she really does anything now except direct-to-video B flicks and stuff. But she was a big up-and-comer at the time in the 2000s. Still, though, she went on to be a much bigger star than everyone else in this cast, though. The Tamara character's getting horny. Not a good sign for a Jason flick. Always love this line right here where the Wayne character's like, maybe some of us don't want our futures predicted. Mr. McCullough or whatever talking to Uncle Charles, and he's like, well, in your case, I'm sure that's true. That is some funny shit. Good comeback there, Charles. Oh, drug use in a Jason movie. Jason said, just say no. Just say no. Oh, they've been spotted by Rennie. The Rennie character in this is really plain. Like, she's not that interesting. I mean, she's passable to okay by the end of the movie. She's serviceable. But that seems to be what they wanted, just like an average girl next door, good girl type character. But by this point, 8 movies in the series, she just doesn't really have anything to offer. Well, here comes Uncle Charlie. You've been spotted by Uncle Charlie, Tamara. What do you do? See, Uncle Charlie's like a Terminator. He just zeroes in on like random crazy teenage shit. Oh, the biology project. The infamous biology project's name. That is up and coming. Of course, her plan is to get the. She thinks Rennie narked on her, and that's why Charles showed up, because he's her uncle. Her plan is to get back at Rennie by knocking her overboard because she's afraid of water, which might have inadvertently killed her. So she's alright with possibly murdering another person. That's some hardcore shit. Ah, the sauna death. This is a fun one, from what I remember. Oh, you're gonna get steamy, alright, dude. Here comes the J-Man. Like when Jason picks up the hot ass rock, and you hear like steam coming off of it. It's cool. You're about to get a real bad chest ache, buddy. Yeah, I like that kill. That was a fun one. Oh, here comes the obligatory knock overboard by Tamra. Oh shit! It's an accident, she swears. You're full of shit, Tamra. Chick overboard. Here's upcoming another Jason dream sequence hallucination nightmare type scene. Once again, Jason does not look deformed. At this point, you're just left with the idea that she's somehow like sensing the spirit of Jason all around the lake area because it's where he died for the first time by drowning. So that's pretty much all you can gather at this point in the movie until the reveal at the end. About time for Uncle Charlie to show up. Like I told you, he's a Terminator. He just zeroes in on teenage shenanigans. Oh shit, Uncle Charlie in the house. Haven't seen the crazy ass You're Doomed deckhand in a while. Oh, spoke too soon. There's old crazy ass. Yet another Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff dream sequence seems kind of soon and kind of fast here. Jason's starting to look more deformed here, which is good. This scene is okay for a nightmare type sequence, but these types of sequences just feel so thrown into the movie just for the sake of being here. Just to rip off Freddy Krueger. Biology project time, Uncle Charles. Oh, Tamara's gonna take Charles down with the power of ass. Every man's weakness. There comes Wayne, the video nerd, to record everything. Man, Wayne's trying to get something awful bad. She ain't giving it up, Wayne. Wayne looks a little like Matt Damon. Of course, Charlie here is not going to have to worry about these two whatsoever, or this tape, because it's going to go down with the ship. You ain't getting none, Wayne. Oh shit, Jason's about to pop out. Jason's like a silent ninja. Up. Come on, J-Man. Watch out, Tamara. Oh snap, it's the J-Man. Titties and ass. Looking good. Oh, Jason's about to ice the Tamara chick. With a shard of glass. He's not gonna ram it in her ass, he's gonna ram it in the chest. It was a cutaway kill, but I didn't mind that one. Time to cake out the captain and the second in command. Goodbye, first mate. Death from the Back by Jason. Time for the captain to go by Slit Throat. Your part just got cut, Captain. Of course, it would have been cooler if there would have been like blood gushing out of the captain's throat or whatever, but for what it is, at this point, this movie's kind of passable. Why Jason bothered to stand the captain's body back up, I don't know. I guess he just wanted to laugh. No, Orange Julius is back, baby. At this point, we're like 42 minutes in. You would think we'd probably be getting close to when Jason actually gets to Manhattan, but no, we're not. Of course, this is where Orange Julius decides to like get him a whole posse together to go out and whoop some ass, which completely fails, by the way. Oh, the return of the deckhand. Anyone that says Jason is dead has to die. So you're probably not going to make it to the movie, Charles. Orange Julius is getting riled up, baby. It's posse time. He's going to go after Jason Halloween Kills style, baby. Uh-oh, Jason's watching Rennie from above. Sometimes I feel like the J-Man's watching me. Because no shit, he always is. Rennie's going to drop the anchor in the middle of the storm. I'm not sure if dropping the anchor is like the correct thing to do in the middle of a storm. I mean, I guess it is, because it keeps you from like drifting off course and all that shit, I guess. So you can like ride the storm out. But I'm not for sure. I'm no expert on like boat mechanics or whatever the hell. Oh, Uncle Charlie zeroing in on teen shenanigans again. Rennie, why are you trying to drop the anchor? I'm the one you should be listening to, Rennie, you dumb bitch. All the things Uncle Charlie does for old Rennie. Oh, Kelly Hughes' turn. Man, Tamara got nailed by some glass shards through the back. At this point, you're like, well, we're starting to get a little long in the tooth here. Where the fuck is New York? To the disco room, Jason said. I do kind of like this right here where she kind of gets disoriented and Jason appears like he's like at every exit blocking them. But you could just blame that on like her being disoriented by the spinning of the room and not really Jason teleporting. Even though Jason does obviously teleport in this film way too friggin' much. Also really enjoy the choke slamming here coming up of Kelly Hughes. I like this death. Jason said sometimes you just gotta choke a bitch. Yeah, on another note, the trailer for Evil Dead Rise comes out tomorrow, like the full trailer. We got a little teaser today. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm a massive Evil Dead fan. I would say that's probably my favorite horror franchise of all time. Damn, Jason just threw her ass to the ground. Here goes one of my favorite lines. What are you taking, Julius? Nothing. But this gun. Orange Julius just echoes badassness, baby. Time for Wayne Matt Damon Jr. here, the video nerd, to get it. I do like the fact that Wayne accidentally shoots an innocent person. I believe it's supposed to be the dude working on the ship that was hit on by the Tamara chick earlier in the movie. That's another thing. There's a lot of people in this movie or whatever who are on the ship who we never see die, so it's just assumed that Jason's like been killing them all off screen. Would have been nice to see those kills. They could have had like a scene where a lot of people were like locked up in the restaurant or something or the disco room and Jason just went there slaughtering them all from left and right. I like that Wayne actually kills the innocent guy, and then there comes Jason. Oh, snap. Jason's just pissed because he took his kill from him. Bam! Get that damn camera out my face, Jason said. Better run, Matt Damon. Well, he stumbled on the Saffron Burrows JJ's character's corpse. Definitely a sad one. But you should have kept running, Wayne. You stopped and waited, now your ass is grass. You're fired, Wayne. Well, you're going to be literally on fire. I do love that Jason actually punches the fire alarm here. That's some funny shit. At least he's willing to warn the other people to give him a fighting chance. Yep, you've been fired, Wayne. Oh, Uncle Charlie's packing heat. He got the flare gun. At this point, you might be thinking, well, maybe there is no New York in this movie. Of course, the Uncle Charlie character is so blindly stupid in his actions. I mean, they're trying so hard to make you hate the man. And they're doing a good job. Time for the dude from Puppet Master 4 and 5 to bite the dust. Jason said, get that weak shit out my face, throwing that axe away. And yeah, Jason just appears and disappears at points in this movie, which is just a little too much. It's a little too hokey. Time for Orange Julius to fly overboard. Orange Julius, no! Something tells me he's not dead yet, though. Here comes another hallucination scene. A Nightmare on Elm Street eats your heart out. I do like that she gets away from Jason by shanking him in the eye with the pen. And when Jason pulls it out, it's like water comes out of his eyeball. Like a single tear of water. That's kind of cool. But at this point, I'm still thinking, where the fuck is New York? Oh, Jason's watching the restaurant people from outside. They're screwed. I'm pretty sure all their characters just drowned. Meanwhile, Uncle Charlie's off looking for the deckhand. Watch out, Uncle Charlie, he's got a knife. Of course, the guy who plays the deckhand on here, the crazy deckhand, he was in a few episodes of Outer Limits. He had, I think it was like the 90s versions of Outer Limits. Or it may have been the one that... It was like the remake of Outer Limits, I believe he was in. He was in like 2 or 3 episodes as a dude who like time travels with a pocket watch or something. He was good in that. He also had a small part in Wrongfully Accused with Leslie Nielsen. He was working in the store or whatever that Leslie Nielsen stopped by. That was pretty funny. And the dude who plays Uncle Charlie was in Three's Company as one of the alternate Chrissy's like father or whatever. I don't know if it's Suzanne Summers or the Terry character or who the hell, but he was one of them's father. I think he was a minister or something. Jason has sunk the cruise ship. Yeah, expectations of this movie actually having somewhat in Manhattan definitely hurts the film. Not sure it would be that much better, even if you just took it as Friday 13th Part 8. I do like the fact that Jason like inadvertently causes everyone else to like drown in the restaurant and all that shit. Definitely helps dwindle the life numbers down on those ships. And finally, the deckhand has bit the dust. Jason had to ask him a question as well. You ain't gotta worry about killing him, Uncle Charlie. Somebody beat you to it. Who the hell carries the dog down to the lifeboat still remains a mystery to this day. I mean, it's possible somebody could have carried it down, threw it over your shoulder or whatever, and one-armed it, walked it down or whatever on the ladder. It's possible it could have been. It could have been done. Of course, here we get the return of Orange Julius, who's been holding his breath at this point for multiple minutes, way longer than most Olympic swimmers. So it's like, yeah, Orange Julius would be orange dead at this point. Orange Julius, you made it. Finally, we're heading to New York. Over an hour into the movie. Which is ridiculous, and we're still not there, but we're getting close. Of course, Uncle Charlie is still being a dick, which is hilarious to me. If you hear any tossing and turning in the background, that's just me situating myself. Because this is the longest Jason movie I believe. So sitting in the same way for a long while takes a lot out of your body. Well, hell, at least it does for me. Should have brought me a Corona drink for this one. Oh, could it be? Could they have finally made it to New York? All their dreams and aspirations, they're here. But they're here in 1980s New York, a city even more dangerous than Jason himself. There's crack whores and muggers in every corner. Just watch Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. But thank God they finally made it. Of course, Uncle Charlie's still being an asshole. I love what an over-the-top asshole the Charles character is. At this point, I'm just gotten used to it. He's just so over-the-top asshole-ish. And there's Jason. He just followed him underneath the ocean floor. At this point, Jason has zeroed in on his targets like a shark. Since they were on the lake, that makes them doable kills. That officially marks them. Anybody who's on the lake or near the lake area is automatically marked by Jason for termination. I love the big billboard though with the hockey mask on it that Jason sees. It looks like himself. That's cool. See, that's a good gag right there. That was well done. Props to the director for that. See, I'm always non-biased with everything I review or watch or whatever. If you got good stuff, I'll give you the good stuff. And even if I like a movie, no film is perfect and everything has flaws. That's just the way it is. There's no such thing as a perfect movie. There's no such thing as a perfect anything. Yeah, the Rennie character is just pretty lame at this point. It's like, whatever. We got two mugger rapists though showing up. They get to see all the wonderful sights of New York at this point. We got the rapist muggers and the crack whores coming up. All kinds of good stuff. Oh, Orange Julius, what are we waiting for, baby? Let's go. See, he was going to chase those muggers down and beat their ass. Of course, Uncle Charles, though, with his sensible reasoning, is like, let's not do anything. Well, he does say let's get the police, which, under the circumstances, is kind of the reasonable thing to do. Yeah, both the two leads in this are just kind of meh. Back when I did my review for this, I think I used to say the dude was okay and the chick was passable. Watching them now, they're both kind of meh. Not so much bad, but just meh. Forgettable would be the word. Now he's got some drugs. He's using drugs in a Jason movie. What have I told these people? Jason is very anti-drug. Of course, you're hoping Jason kills these two. Oh, Jason found his crack needle. Jason's gonna dose you up with some drugs, buddy. Don't you worry. Yeah, I like the fact that Jason kills him with his own drug needle. That is pretty hilarious. Oh, forgot my money, Holmes. Yeah, at this point, bullets are like throwing rocks at Jason. Yeah, Jason concussed his ass with a pipe. Run, Rennie, run. Yeah, I don't like the yellow tint to the mask. Oh, my main man, Orange Julius. It is time, Julius, for the ultimate boxing match of the century. Orange Julius versus Jay Voorhees. Well, I actually do like the black character has survived this long in the movie. Usually they're killed off much earlier. But then again, that's not meant to be like a race thing or whatever. Usually, like, the majority of characters are killed off a lot earlier. But usually the black characters, though, they don't survive all near to the end of these movies. Really to the near the end of most movies. Oh, shit. Come on, Julius, I'm rooting for you. Oh, Julius is slowing down a little bit. Come on, Julius. Oh, I don't think you're gonna make it, Orange Julius. Oh, here comes, baby. Damn, knocked off his head. That is a great death. I think that's done it right there and become my favorite death of the series thus far in one of the weakest movies. So even the weaker movies can have some fun. Oh, Sean to the rescue, Rennie. Of course, Charles the asshole manages to find the one cop around in New York. But like I said, it would have been cool to see Jason like massacre like a whole police station. At this point, some of the New York stuff has been kind of fun, but you're still just seeing Jason like walk around in dark alleys for the most part. So it's getting a little old. That's right, Charles. You cannot escape the J-Man. Of course, here's another little surprise by Jason with Julius's head inside the police car. Here we have yet another Nightmare on Elm Street rip-off dream type sequence coming up. That was an alright sequence to cause a car crash or whatever, seeing like the young boy deform Jason again. Extremely waterlogged version. But at the same time, there's still no explanation for where the hell these hallucinations are coming from. And of course, the female teacher was forgotten and left in the vehicle as they ran off, and she dies in an explosion. Another character who was like kind of they didn't want you to see Jason kill or whatever because they just felt like it would have been like out of the age demographic and all that shit, being like an older woman and everything. But at the same time, I don't think anybody would have gave a shit. Oh, flashback time. They flash back to Uncle Charlie. This cannot be good. Oh, he's telling her the story of Jason. Jason never learned how to swim. He drowned in the lake, and he's always ready to pull down people who can't freaking swim. So how about I push you into this lake? Of course, he doesn't actually believe the story of Jason. He's just trying to force her to learn how to swim, which almost causes her death, of course. Of course, this timeline doesn't add up at all because Rennie's like way too young at this point in the timeline for this to have occurred or whatever back in the past in terms of the timeline of these movies. At this point, they're just trying to say that these hallucinations or whatever are like repressed memories, kind of, is what it's kind of hinting at. That really doesn't make sense when the dog was actually able to see the hallucination as well, so it's kind of a retarded explanation. Oh, she remembers Uncle Charlie, you're screwed now. At least at this point in the story, they've given the Rennie character a little bit more background to chew on here. So this movie implies that Jason's been like haunting the lake since he drowned as a child. And he's just kind of been like an apparition, like ghostly, like haunting the lake area ever since then. Which pretty much fits in line with what was started in part 6, with the whole idea that Jason did actually drown and he's always been supernatural. Oh shit, here comes the J-Man. Charles, you can't get away from him, he teleports. Yeah, at this point it's just way too easy for Jason to catch up with people. Because it's just like blink, he's there. In other movies they made it make more sense, or they made it make sense because Jason was in the woods and he knew the area perfectly, so he could have just like snuck around a bush or whatever and wound up in front of somebody or behind them. Here, though, in the big city, it doesn't really make much sense. He's clearly teleporting. I like the fact he's drowning him in like toxic sewage. Oh no, it's the end of Charles. Oh, here comes the obligatory kiss scene. Come on, Sean has went through all this trouble for you. At least he can do is get a peck on the cheek. Or a kiss on the lips. Smooching time. Of course, everyone else is dead. Let's get a smooch in. I like that Jason interrupted and said, knock that shit off. Also like when Jason just busts through this glass here in a minute going down the subway. Or going to the subway, I mean. Down the escalator. See, that was cool. It would have been cool right here to see Jason actually, like, go down the escalator killing some people. They miss opportunities in this film that are, like, really obvious. That's what I don't like about it. Of course, Jason is already on the subway. At this point, I've kind of just accepted he just moves fast as shit off camera. Yeah, Jason just knocks other people out the way because he's just fixated on killing these two. Which is kind of a shame because it would be cool if he at least killed some other New Yorkers that were in the way. Seeing Jason slaughter people on the subway would have been a lot of fun. Seeing him on the subway, period, though, is still kind of cool. I like that they set a trap for Jason right here and jump and knock him over on the tracks, electrocuting his ass again, which of course isn't going to do anything. Electricity has no effect on Jason. And they baked Jason's ass. Little do they know electricity only brings him back to life, makes him stronger. It cannot kill him. I love these shots in Times Square. This is cool. At this point, though, this movie is starting to run a little long. I will say I do like the new location in this film. I like seeing the characters in New York. Just wish they could have done more here. But I do like the change in spicing of location. And I still maintain, even on the budget that they had, they could have done more in New York. Limit the amount of kids or whatever because most of them got killed off screen anyway. Just have it be like a class field trip or something that Jason follows them on to New York instead of like some kind of big graduating class or whatever. And then just do the first act of the movie on the boat and then do the rest of the movie in New York. You could do this with a low budget. Just have Jason like chasing random different teenagers or whatever to different fun places in New York or in the city for him to kill them. Like one person run or a group of people run to like the Broadway play thing. He takes them out along with like slicing up a bunch of Broadway stage actors. Other people go down to the subway. He takes them out while slicing up a bunch of people on the subway. Like you could have done this movie still and made it really fun with even with a low budget. It's like Jason's still alive. No shit. I love this when he kicks over the boom box here or whatever by the thugs are jamming out on. Here's where we get a peek at Jason's sense of humor. Yeah, seeing Jason raise up his mask or whatever to scare the thugs off so he can continue going after his primary targets is some funny shit. Seeing Jason bust up this diner right here, this is also kind of fun. Of course, the cook, who's like really tall, is actually played by Ken Kirzinger, who went on to play Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. You can see that Kane Hodder has like more mass on his body, like a linebacker or whatever, a football player here. He's more built than Ken Kirzinger, but Ken Kirzinger is more like is taller and more thin, but he doesn't have as much body mass. I like that Jason just like knocks his ass out though, picks him up, slings him all the way into the mirror. That's cool. About to head down for the sewer final. You can't escape the J-Man. Little do they know, Jason enjoys the sewer scenery, so he's gonna follow him. I like seeing Jason in the sewer setting, that's kinda neat. Of course, here's where we get the infamous ending of the sewers flooding with toxic waste at midnight every night in New York, which is ridiculous, but it works in like that whole urban legend B-movie type way. Now here's where we got the sanitation worker in the sewer. Like, if the sewers flood out every night at midnight, like, what the hell is he doing there? Is it really worth risking doing a late night nut and bolt screw? Jason doesn't just hate police, he hates sanitation workers as well. So sorry, buddy, you gotta go. Like that Jason knocks his brains out with his own friggin' wrench, though. I will say, overall, I remember this film being worse than Part 5, but it is actually more entertaining at this point. It may be worse written, but it's more fun. I guess that's what you get when you have Jason in the lead instead of like Roy the imposter killer, but still though, it's just more fun. We'll see how it measures up by the end. Here comes, here comes the toxic waste to the face, baby. Boom! Right in your face, Jason. Man, Jason's face looks like shit in this movie. Looks like a puppet. I was okay with the look, but when you see his face, it's lame. I do like that Jason's still coming. Like, you can slow him down, but even with toxic waste to the face right frying his brain, he ain't gonna stop. I also like that the toxic waste flood here reminds Jason of his drowning. Like, Jason has PTSD over his drowning, which is kind of neat. Jason speaks here for the first time in the series in adult form. Mommy, don't let me drown. I do like that his death in this is kind of like drowning again, even though it's more melting in the toxic waste. Of course, this close to toxic waste in real life, the fumes alone would be enough to kill you. So Rennie and Sean would still both be dead. Of course, young Jason shown in a flashback here, looking normal again, which is, please pay attention to continuity directors. Of course, the little boy at the end, like Jason's like evil adult self being melded away, like the director trying to be metaphorical here, with the innocent child version of Jason being trapped inside of his adult vengeful self. It's like, okay, man, you're trying too hard here to go for something supernatural-ish, metaphorical. It's not working. This is a Friday 13th movie. You're trying too hard. I do like that the dog still lives and manages to find him in New York. Well, Toby made it. That's all that matters. Yeah, that was kind of a lame ending. Overall, after finishing the movie, the ending here really almost kills the movie completely. This ending is lame. Overall, this is a low 2-star passable flick. In my opinion, this is a one-off watch movie. It is the worst of the franchise, in my opinion. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon with Jason Goes to Hell.